Jessie Baca, owner of Sol Maven and the founder of Wild Woman Summer Camp. I wanted to share a little bit about how this all started. Some of you may be surprised to know that it began with my own personal journey to become a wild woman. And it was, it was towards the end of 2018. I was a single mompreneur and had decided to downshift my 15-year career as a wedding planner and really was looking for something a little bit more meaningful. Wasn't really sure what that was at that point. And Soul Maven was like just in the beginning stages. And God, on top of all that, I decided to end a really sweet long-term relationship. So in a sense, I had like broken my own heart so I could rebuild it and start from scratch. And really all the things that had defined me and created like the structure around me were just torn down. It was pretty freaking scary, actually. It was like, everything's over. What do I do? So I decided to enroll myself in a self-proclaimed soul school. I thought people go back to school all the time. Like, why can't I? And maybe it wasn't like a university. It was my own like self-imposed curriculum. But I realized like this education was probably the most important thing I'd like ever embark upon. So I gave myself a reading list, which was about 13 books long, and also included Women Who Run with the Wolves by Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes. And that became kind of sort of my Bible. It just came with me everywhere. And if you haven't read it, you've been officially assigned. There you go. So at that point, I had also enlisted the help of about 7 different types of healers, teachers, therapists, ranging from like cranial sacral work, acupuncture, movement, breath work, talk therapy, body work, and even astrology. Got a little woo in there. And all of this was really it was like with the intention to learn the language of my body, to kind of like come home and become more like in touch with these inner systems. And I also realized, like, along with that work, that my outer systems needed to change too. So I prioritized my female friendships, just focusing on gathering and spending time together, laughing, cooking, road tripping, camping, like having all the deep soul talks. And it was such a nurturing and supportive witnessing that I received from them. And it reminded me like why we gather, like a circle of women who have also seen heartbreak or have single parented or contemplated their career. It was deeply healing. And it was for me, to find this safe space around me. And I decided to heal from the inside out too. I eliminated caffeine, gluten, sugar, and alcohol. I swear to God, I'm still fun. I try to eat only organic and unprocessed foods, and I was able to eat eggs straight from chickens that I knew. I overhauled all of my body products. Like everything went to natural and organic. Like I stopped wearing nail polish, I stopped wearing deodorant, just rubbed like sage in my pits instead. Total hippie. I use, essential oils and beeswax, and I'm finding like my skin is more hydrated and happier. It just feels so good not to be putting chemicals on my face. I reconnected with nature. I put my feet in the dirt, my body in water, and my hands on animals. I laid on rocks. I bathed in waterfalls. I slept outside. I stargazed, made fires, and cooked on an open flame. I covered myself in mud. I climbed boulders and sat on mountain summits. I chopped wood. I picked sage and smelled the sweet incense as I burned it. I rode horses. I walked barefoot. I hugged trees, took deep sniffs of ponderosa bark. Oh my God, it's the best smell in the world. I sat by rivers. I became still. I breathed. Imagine that, right? And like by immersing myself in these like open and quiet spaces, like everything settled. My mind stilled. Like I settled into my body. My nervous system downshifted. My intuition became louder. It was the voice that I once heard faintly became like stronger and wise and confident. And I had learned this language. Like when it spoke it now, like when my body spoke, I listened. It was very clear. Um, and I also, I cried when I sat by those rivers. I would cry so hard, just shedding layers that had blocked that voice, grieving that mute button that had been on for so long. Um, and just, really I was undoing the distractions that like busyness had covered up, the shoulds and the you betters and all the things that had drowned out like the wisdom of my body and intuition, and the things that had been like just patiently holding. It's the beauty of the body. It's just like, don't worry, I'm always going to be here, ready to tell you all the things you need to know and when you're ready to listen. And it was in those moments that I began to remember. He was always there. It had just been, domesticated. It had been taught that like productive was better, that faster was better, that busy was better. And I was remembering that like my wild and undomesticated self, like what it really wanted. Like it wanted stillness. It wanted slowness. It wanted to listen. Wanted to be away from the computer, away from the phone, to be outside, to truly breathe, just to like come back to that primal self, you know? And this is when I knew that other women needed this too. We were hungry, no, we were starving for it. I thought, how do I bring this to other women? And the whole summer of, 2019, I would joke like, oh, I'm going to Wild Woman Summer Camp as I like trekked off to go camping or buried my nose in my Women Who Run with the Wolves book or covered myself in mud or bathed in a river, So I thought that was it. Like, we have to make Wild Woman Summer Camp. Like, this would be a place where we would gather, like as a circle of women, like witnessing each other in sisterhood. We would heal our bodies, eating nourishing food, becoming aware of products we could replace with, the chemical laden ones with, get rid of those. We could reconnect. We could immerse ourselves in nature and our true roots and therefore truly connect to ourselves. And we would become still, rest in that open space of the land. Cry by rivers, let our intuition become louder in that stillness. And most importantly, we would remember, we would shed that domestication, the emails, the phone, remember our natural, our primal selves, and remember, the wild woman that's in all of us, just waiting to be awakened. And we'd start with Wild Woman Summer Camp. So I was really excited 2 years ago deciding to partner with Kit Fox and Dig and Serve. I was a event producer in my former life, and pairing with these two, like the most incredible production team, I thought, you know what, let's do this right. Like, I'm not going to go try to pitch tents myself in the wilderness. Like, let's make it a really amazing experience where everything's taken care of and we can truly give our guests, give these women the space to gather, the space to reconnect, the space to like find that stillness. And so I'm just so thrilled that Wild Woman Summer Camp has become a reality. This was kind of just a pipe dream for me. It was a little wild hair, and it's here, and I'm so excited to share it. I'm so excited to open the arms, my arms, and bring women in and have them, get a taste of what I was so lucky to experience. And, my curriculum, my soul school, this is just part of it. But I do know it was life-changing for me, and to be able to offer that to other women so that they can start that change and start that listening to their soul. That's where the magic is. So we found a place to start right here at Wild Woman Summer Camp. I can't wait to see you there.